Okay, so when I'm building this shelf, what I'm really hoping to achieve is a beautiful grain wrap going around the outside of the shelf. You can see there's lots of grain and figure in this walnut, and I've laid out where the bottom, where the side, and this is all from one continuous board. I will have the top, so you can imagine this right side coming up, going across the top, and then this would be the left side as it dives down on the other side. I'm going to be cutting miter joints, so removing a little triangle there so that these guys can go together and form that perfect 90-degree joint. Rather than just using simple butt joint, I think this will give a more beautiful look to try and wrap that grain all the way around.
A local interior designer approached me about creating a custom piece for her. She was working on a home gym, and what she wanted was a beautiful piece of furniture that would also provide a spot to store towels for after a workout. She described what she wanted, and after a little bit of back and forth, this is what we came up with, and I think she was really happy and it turned out beautifully. So here you can see I'm gang cutting these pieces 2 at a time to make sure that they're going to be equal length. Now I'm going to be using sliding dovetail joinery for the 3 shelves that are going to go inside this unit. And to make sure that those dovetails are lined up absolutely perfectly, what I'm doing is clamping these 2 pieces together, and I am going to route in a single pass the groove for the shelves. So I do want my track to be clamped down here so it doesn't move, and there you can see I have a little spacer. So I have a line drawn exactly where I want the center of my router bit to be, and that spacer just makes sure that my rail is in the right space, and time to route the groove. I do have a little sacrificial piece of maple just clamped onto the outside there because you know you're going to get blowout on a pass like this. So there's that blowout, but no problem. Sacrificial piece. I have left all of the parts for this just a little bit generous, and I'm going to trim them down to their final size. And I thought just in case you get any tear out on an edge somewhere, I am going to just rip them down before I'm ready for the final glue up. So you can see the advantage of gang cutting these by stacking them together and then running that dado pass with the dovetail bit. So over on my router table, I'm going to create the mating part to that dovetail joint by just carefully nibbling away at the edge of these shelves. Of course, I tested it to make sure I had it dialed in with a piece of scrap, and then when I brought over the shelf and slid it in, just with a little bit of pressure, it snugly seats home perfectly. Go ahead, click that like and subscribe if you will. So as I mentioned, I left all the pieces a little bit proud of their final dimensions, so I was able to just rip less than 1/8 of an inch off to clean up those edges on all 4 of the main body parts and the shelves as well. And you can see all my labels, arrows, so I know which pieces go up, numbers. You're going to see me add to the shelves so I don't get confused on where I want each one to go. So here are the dominoes just going in to strengthen the corner. Here's a view of that mitered corner where you can see the grain wrapping around. See that sapwood continuing at the bottom. Doing a little dry fit to make sure everything goes together just the way you want. Once you start getting the glue on it, you do not want any surprises. persuasion. It goes right in there. I had some arrows on these shelves pointing down already, so I thought I would just continue that to say they go in this way when I'm doing the glue up. You know, if you've ever glued up one of these projects before, that you really just want to get going and get the pieces together. So really happy with the joints there and a nice snug fit. We're ready for glue. When I'm applying the glue, I'm trying to be careful not to go crazy right towards the heel of that miter. If there's squeeze out, I want the squeeze out to come out to the outside of the box. I still get a little bit on the inside, but a little bit less. Cleanup on that inside is always a good thing, and trying to get it before it completely dries will go a long way towards giving it a nice clean finish as well. So you can see these band clamps are terrific. Really snug this thing up. And put a little glue on those shelves, slid them in there. Next day I was able to mark out for the hardware to hang this shelf. Just going to use some simple keyhole. So scribing around the outside. Now it is critical that these things are the exact same distance from the top, so that if the person mounting it makes the two screws level, this unit will also be level. So just using my little trim router with a little 1/4 inch spiral up cut, and just taking a shallow pass there, just relieving enough material to let this sit flush down inside. I won't screw them in until after it's finished. Going to be using some Rubio Monocoat. This is my first experience with the Rubio, but I've seen how beautiful it looks on other projects, and I was really excited to give it a try. It's a 2-part system, so that was the oil going in, and then this is a accelerator, and it's a 3-to-1. I think I used somewhere around 12 or 15 of the oil with a 1/3 of the accelerator. Mix it around, and then you can apply it straight with the Scotch-Brite. You can spread it around with a little plastic spreader. I was doing this inside because it was just so cold in my shop. There was no way I was going to be able to apply a finish outside. So the lighting is not terrific, so apologies for that, but it really did turn out great. Happy with the finish. I will definitely be using Rubio more on future projects. So here you can see the keyhole hardware going in. Nice to have one of the self-centering drill bits. And just carefully driving those screws home. Don't want to over tighten. You definitely want to drill first. You would hate to split anything at this point. Again, a little close-up of those dovetails and some of the grain that is in this wood. Those miters came together nice and tight. Now this is going to get one more feature, as this is going in a home gym to store towels. There is going to be some hardware. Some beautiful drawer pulls are going to be attached right at the front of each of these shelves, so that a rolled up towel can just tuck in behind it and it won't roll off. And the towels will be available after a strenuous workout. So first one went in no problem, because of course I had full access for all of my drills and drivers from the bottom. And there you can see these beautiful pulls from CB2. But then I had to get creative for all the other ones because I didn't have much room. So here you can see a little tiny 90-degree bit where I just started through my little template, so I knew I was drilling in the correct spot. But then yeah, I had to finish all the holes with that 90-degree bit. But there you can see all the hardware, a nice matte black installed. Turned out really, really well. Super happy with this. There you go. I also made the client a floating shelf that's going to go with it in the same space. Anyhow, thanks for watching.